Hi, today I'm going to be talking to you about how to use Google Docs with our Keuka College Gmail system. Okay, so to begin with, you need to be logged into your Keuka College Gmail account. And then after that loads, you can come up here to the top right hand corner, there's a little block of squares. You hover over it, it says Apps. You click on it, opens up some of the applications available to us. Today we're going to go to Drive. It's our Drive folder, which is their My Documents folder, basically. Keep all sorts of documents in there that you've created. You could create a Word type document, which is what we're going to talk about today, a presentation, a spreadsheet, a form, or a drawing. So let's create our Word type document, or Google Doc, as they like it to be known. And you'll see it brings up a simple editor. You hover over things, the icons here, we've got printing icon, undo, redo, paint format, sizing for the screen zoom, pick type of text, headings, type of text, sizes, font, bold, italics, underline, hyperlink. You can pick your alignments, line spacing, similar things you would find in a word processor. So it acts the same as Word. What makes this cool, though, is that you can share this document with others to work collaboratively together on one document in one place, instead of emailing around a Word document and saying, here, what do you think? You edit it and then send it back to me. So you don't have to keep sending documents around. You all work together in one place. Before I can share this, it wants me to call it something, so we're going to call it a test doc. And it says, who do you want to share this with? So the sharing window right now, who has access? It's private only to the people listed below, which is me. So I want to add some names to share this with. I'm going to share this with my buddy Joe Student. We're working on a paper together. And you'll see a drop-down box here that shows some options. He can edit, comment, or view. We're going to make him an editor on this. And we're going to notify him by email right here through this sharing feature. I'm going to add a message here that says, here is our Google Doc paper. I like to copy, send a copy to myself in my own email, and then share and save. Now you'll see it brings up his name is listed below the who has access area. Joe Student, he can edit, he can modify those permissions, or we can delete him altogether, but we want to leave him in there for now. So while we were doing that, Joe got an email telling him he now has access to this Google Doc. So Joe is going to sign on from his computer. And when he does, you'll see this icon up here in the right hand corner. If you hover over it, it tells you who it is. Now he doesn't have a picture associated with his email account, so his first letter is J, and it just puts a J in there. And you can see who's working on your document with you. Plus you can see his cursor right here. And if you hovered over his cursor, while Joe is typing on the document, he's going to, let's see here, document for video. And you'll see his typing in real time. If you were to make changes, make things bold and underlined, as you were doing that, Joe would see the same thing on his end. All these changes happening in real time. It's got similar features as Word does. You can insert an image. Lots of features here. You can upload an image from your computer, take a snapshot from your webcam. If you know how to do it by URL, you could copy an image's URL and paste it in. However, that's not suggested because you don't know what is going to happen on the other end. One day if somebody's web page goes away, so does your URL. So what I'm going to do today is bring over a folder that I already have open with some pictures in it, and just drag and drop right over the editor, finds the image and drops it in. I can now highlight it and modify it. Okay, so for this image I brought in, I've selected wrap text so that I can drag it around. If I were to drag it up near the text, you would see that it wraps the text around the image. So I'm going to bring it down here. If I move it, you'll see some guidelines show. That says I'm directly in the middle. So if I let go, the center of the image is now lined up directly with the middle of the page. If I were to scroll down and bring it down the page farther, you'll see the horizontal line show up, the grid line. And where'd it go? And now it's dead center in the middle of the paper. You don't need to do that. I want to keep this up top just so we can see what we're working on. Now, Joe sees the exact same thing on his end. You can see Joe's cursor as he's working on stuff. Joe wants to move that down a little bit, so he moves the image down a little bit so that he can start typing. You can see it's changing the line spacing as you type. So, typing here to show an example. You can see Joe's real-time changes. Maybe he doesn't want that bold, he doesn't want that underlined. Maybe he wants that all the way to the right. Okay, so you've seen how you can work together on a document. But what if you need to now share it with an instructor, or you want to email it to somebody else and they're not as familiar with Google Docs, and you want to save it as a different type of files? Google lets you download this file as a Microsoft Word document with the docx extension. So that's the newest version of Word. You can also save it as rich text format. You can also save it as a PDF, which will keep your images in place and keep your text formatting the same. Let's download it as a PDF document. Opens up your options. We'll save it to the desktop as the test doc PDF. Go and open the PDF. You can see the PDF now looks exactly like our Google document. You can now email this PDF if you want, or maybe you can go back and share your document with more people and work collaboratively in the cloud. Okay, another handy feature while you're working on your document in the cloud is the ability to add comments off to the right, specifically wherever your cursor is. So I wanted to highlight this word and put in, "Are you sure that is the correct wording?" And then say comment. Joe sees the comment on his end. He can now interact as well, reply to this comment and say, "Yup." And you see Joe is now commenting specifically on an area that was highlighted. If you were online at the same time and you wanted to talk more about it, you could open up a chat window and you could resize your chat window depending on the real estate of your window that you need to work within. You can make that smaller, you can minimize it altogether so you don't see the chat. You could pop it out and create a movable window to move around, but then as you work on your document, it would get hidden in the background. So I don't like doing that myself because then I lose the windows. So I like to leave it popped back in and it's locked down here in the corner. Okay, so you're gonna send a chat to Joe and say, "So what do you think of Google Docs?" Hit enter. He's gonna write back, "Love it." So you guys can be chatting in real time. Or if you're not online at the same time, again, you can leave comments alongside of the paper. Now this could also be a handy feature if one of your instructors, if you shared your document with an instructor, they could go in and specifically add comments to a specific region, kind of like track changes in Word documents. A lot of instructors like to use track changes. So here they could leave you comments specifically about areas of the text. And then you could work back and forth maybe on a first draft or a rough draft, and then until you guys finalize a paper to be turned in, again, either as a Word document or as a PDF, or maybe you just leave it as a Google Doc, depends on what the instructor preferences are. All right, so that's just a little bit of information about how to use Google Docs to create a Word type document.